Money was deposited, and the apples were given. They proceeded to dig into them right in front of the stand. She didn't mind. She loved seeing ponies enjoy her apples. This is good, the gray mare mumbled around her fritter. She swallowed before continuing. We should bring some back for Big Sissy Pie. We should, the blue one agreed. Do you have any pink ladies? She would love that. The farmer smirked. With all the talk of pies you've been going on about, I'm a mite surprised you haven't asked for one of those. They both looked back at her. She brought her hooves to her mouth as she realized what she had done. I'm so sorry, she gushed, now panicked like never before. Please don't tell anyone I slipped. It was an accident. I swear, I'll even give you free apples. You can even... Whoa, 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 the dusty gray pony soothed. Calm down. We won't tell any pony, will we, Sissy Pie? Darker Mare agreed. If it means that much to you, we'll keep quiet. Besides, the gray pony continued, there's nothing wrong with being honest with yourself. That hit a chord inside Applejack. She hadn't given thought to it in that matter since that day a week ago, but the more she thought about it, the more it ate at her. Here she was, the biggest farmers' convention in all of Equestria, and what was she doing? Wearing a ballroom gown and speaking in a hobnob voice in an attempt to fit in. Miss? Are you all right? She shook her head as she brought her mind back to the here and now. Oh, yes, I am. Thank you. I'm awfully sorry about all this. This is just my one big chance to help my farm, and I don't want to mess it up. We can understand that, the darker of the two equines replied. We come from a rock farm, and unless the rocks are pretty or valuable, we don't make much money either. Her sister nodded in agreement. Ouch, the orange one responded. She looked over her own wares before ducking under the stand to retrieve a bag, filling it with rose-tinted apples. You know what? Here, have a bag of pink ladies, just as ordered, and an apple pie, too, on the house. Their eyes widened. Oh, we can't possibly. Don't go stammering on me now. She spoke to the two, her twang briefly resurfacing. She gave them a thankful look. Just think of them as gifts for your Sissy Pie. I bet she'll love them. They looked at each other before nodding and giving smiles to their vendor. The slight one carefully placed a pie on her back as she gushed. Oh boy, Maggie Pie, this expo really is turning out to be the best. You said it, Inky Pie, her sister cheered, placing the bag of apples into her saddlebag. I just know Pinky's gonna love these. Applejack waved the both of them farewell as they blended back into the stream of ponies clomping through the aisles. Her mind was still awhirl with the thoughts the two had unwittingly imparted on her, but she shook her head, deciding that thinking on that track wasn't going to help sell apples now. And she would need to upsell now after having given that pie. Wait. Pink ladies, she mumbled to herself. Rock farm. Inky! Maggie! Pinky? Pies! Are you certain? As certain as I can be. When we get back to Ponyville, she'll be telling us all about the pie her sisters gave her. How uncanny, Rarity exclaimed. To think we'd run into some of Pinkie Pie's family here at the exhibition. Applejack rolled her eyes as she rested her head on the stand's counter. The stock that she had set aside for today had run empty, only a half-full bushel of galas left on display. It was getting close to the evening, and she was quite thankful for it. The day had worn hard on her. Though she couldn't complain, the money bucket was filled to the brim with bits. Well, they are farmers, after all, she replied, looking around at all the ponies still milling about. They might show up again, so keep your eyes peeled. They might want to try a dress next time. Speaking of which, how has your business done today? Oh, simply amazing! I was quite surprised that the redesigned galoshes outfit we did for you was the most popular on the list. Got no less than 15 orders for it. For a second, the unicorn looked faint before she recovered and continued. And your gala dress was such a hit as well. And of course, I took plenty of custom orders too. I say, Applejack, if this keeps up, I'm going to actually have to start hiring help for the boutique. That's a good sign, the farmer assured, lifting her head slightly. If I have any leftover bits after getting the farm fixed up, I might hire on some more help myself. The acres could really use it. There was a nod before the white mare found herself stretching, joints popping as she worked her limbs. My stars, it's been a long day. I think I'm ready to close up and walk around and sightsee. How about you? Sounds good to me, Applejack replied as she stood up and took a hanging rope in her mouth, bringing the stall sign to collapse inward on top of the counter. If we're lucky, they may still have those plows in stock. She got a nod as the unicorn's horn lit up, drawing the curtains closed on her own stall. After a couple seconds of securing booths and packing their gains, the two fillies began walking side by side, slipping into the stream of equines that were still wandering about at this late hour. "Applejack," Rarity began, causing the orange one to glance at her friend. "I just wanted to tell you how proud I am that you kept up your classical training for the whole of today." She turned those sapphire blue eyes on her, a giddy grin plastered on her face. "And just think, we still have 2 more days. Keep this up, and I promise you, your future will be so much brighter." The farm filly's ears turned downwards. Once again, the words of that gray mare echoed in her head. "I hate this," she thought to herself, "but Rarity's still right, and I can't let her down now." "Just 2 more days," she murmured. "Then I can put this voice behind me." White Ear flicked back. "Oh dear, of course you can go back to speaking plainly again, but not until we're out of these hallowed halls. Besides, I don't think you want to throw it away entirely. There are various other conventions all over Equestria, and a pony of our class could very well be entitled to be invited to every one." Her eyes sparkled at the prospect. In contrast, the color drained from AJ's face. "More parties? More speaking like I—"
"Mademoiselles!"
came the familiar booming bass. The two of them jumped and whirled to find Mr. Marmalade trotting up to them rapidly.
"How is today for you both? I hope your enterprises saw at good fortune."
Oh, they most definitely did, good sir," Rarity cooed, slipping into her most relaxed and noble tone. "The ponies of Yoklahoma City have such exquisite tastes. I wasn't certain if the dresses that Applejack and I designed would be such a hit, but they were."
"Splendid."
The stallion grinned, before turning his attention towards the earth pony.
"And you, my dear? How well did your apple goods fare?"
They did well," Applejack stuttered, trying to recover from her earlier surprise. "Far better than they ever did when I went to the Grand Galloping Gala. I'll be able to make some much-needed improvements to the farm once the exhibition is over." This brought a bigger smile to Marmalade's face than she thought was healthy.
"That's just what I wanted to hear, Madam Applejack. You're the perfect pony. A respectable citizen with a deep tie to her farm. You're just what I'm looking for. Hurry, come with me."
He did an about face and began galloping. Ponies scattered to the left and right as he plowed a path through them. The two females were left gaping for a second before they hurried to catch up with him. "Mr. Marmalade, what's this all about?" Rarity called out, trying her best to run elegantly without causing too much bounce in her outfit.
"An opening speech, that's what,"
came the answer.
"In about 20 minutes, the last panel of the night will begin on the relations of the agricultural industry with that of its consumer base. Originally, we had another speaker to open it, but unfortunately, he was unable to make it in time. Instantly, my thoughts turn to you, Madam Applejack, for you appear to be closely connected with the workings of the farmland for one so cultured."
Applejack was already having enough trouble not tripping over her dress as she kept up. This bit of information did nothing to help matters. You want me to speak?" she managed to squeak out, voice faltering between Manhattan and Appaloosa.
"Indeed. Nothing incredibly long, mind you. All you need to do is tell us a little bit about yourself, about your farm, and about the time you've had here so far. You know, give us your honest opinions."
Rarity turned to gaze at her friend as they ran, with a supportive look. It went unnoticed as the farmer had her eyes unfocused, staring into nothing as they made their way to the hall.